Once upon a time in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake lived a young girl named Alara. Alara was known for her infectious laughter and a heart as big as the sun. Every morning she would skip out of her door, eager to explore the world around her. Her days were filled with playing with her friends, chasing butterflies and listening to her grandmother's tales by the firelight. One day, while skipping through the meadow, Alara came across an old, gnarled tree with moss covering its bark like a thick blanket. The tree stood alone, a silent sentinel amidst the vibrant flowers and playful squirrels. Curiosity sparked in Alara's eyes. She had never noticed this tree before, and its presence both intrigued and slightly unnerved her. As she circled the tree, she noticed a hollow space near the base, just large enough for her to crawl into. A shiver ran down her spine. Despite the summer heat, a strange chill seemed to emanate from the tree. But Alara's curiosity was too strong to resist. She crawled into the hollow, hoping to find a cozy hiding spot or maybe a family of rabbits. But what she found inside the tree was far from what she expected. In the dim light filtering through the gaps in the tree, Alara saw something that made her heart skip a beat. Nestled in the hollow was a small wooden box adorned with silver clasps. It looked ancient, like it had been here in the tree as long as the tree itself. Alara carefully lifted the box. It was heavier than she expected. As she pried open the lid, a gust of wind suddenly swept through the meadow, causing the leaves around her to rustle ominously. Startled, Alara almost dropped the box. But something inside it, perhaps a trinket or a feather, caught her attention. With trembling fingers, she peered inside, and what she saw made the blood freeze in her veins. The box was filled to the brim with eyes. Hundreds of eyes stared back at her, gleaming and unsettling. They were all different sizes and shades, but what truly terrified Alara was the fact that they were still. They didn't blink. They didn't move. They were lifeless. Alara stumbled back, knocking the box away. It fell to the ground with a thud, scattering the eyes around her like fallen stars. She screamed, a sound that tore through the peaceful afternoon, echoing the terror that gripped her heart. That moment, a voice, ancient and raspy like the wind through dead leaves, echoed from within the hollow. "Foolish child, what have you done?" Alara jumped, spinning around to face the voice, but she was met only with the silent, unblinking eyes. Had she imagined the voice? Was she losing her mind? Shaking with fear, Alara scrambled to gather the eyes and place them back in the box. As she did, she swore she felt their icy stares boring into her soul. When the last eye was nestled in its dark bed, Alara fled, racing through the meadow without a backward glance. She ran until she reached her grandmother's house, collapsing on the doorstep, gasping for breath. Her grandmother, a woman with eyes as deep and comforting as the night sky, embraced Alara, sensing the terror that shook her tiny frame. She led Alara inside, offering warm milk and honeyed words until the memory of the meadow faded into a nightmarish haze. Days turned into weeks, and the memory of the tree with the staring eyes became a haunting shadow in Alara's life. She couldn't bring herself to set foot in the meadow again. The joy that had once filled her heart was replaced by a bone-deep chill. One evening, as Alara sat by the fire listening to her grandmother's stories, she noticed a change in her grandmother's demeanor. Her usually bright eyes were clouded with worry, and her hands, so steady and sure, trembled slightly. "Grandmother?" Alara asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Are you all right?" The grandmother sighed, her gaze distant as if she were seeing something Alara couldn't. "I am troubled, my dear," she finally said, her voice heavy with unspoken fears. "There is something in our village that I sense is not right. Something dark stirs in the shadows, and I fear it hungers for the light." Alara's heart pounded in her chest. Could it be the tree with the staring eyes? Had it brought darkness to their village? The grandmother nodded slowly. "I believe so, child, and I fear it is growing stronger. I need your help to stop it." Alara, though terrified, knew she had to be brave. Her village, her home, her friends and family, all were counting on her. With a determined nod, she vowed to help her grandmother uncover the source of the darkness and put an end to it. Together, grandmother and granddaughter set out into the night, their shadows stretching long and eerie in the moonlight. They walked past sleeping houses, each step echoing the urgency of their quest. The closer they got to the meadow, the colder it became, as if the night itself was holding its breath. When they reached the meadow, It was like stepping into another world. The vibrant flowers of daytime had become sinister, their petals seeming to writhe in the darkness. The wind, once playful, now moaned through the trees like a lost spirit. In the center of the meadow stood the gnarled tree, its branches reaching out like skeletal fingers clutching at the sky. The moonlight cast eerie shadows around it, making it seem like a monster awakened. Fear threatened to consume Alara, but she pushed it down, focusing on the task at hand. She remembered how she had disturbed the box of eyes when she first discovered it. Could those eyes be the source of the darkness? With renewed determination, Alara and her grandmother approached the tree, their faces pale in the moonlight. They searched for the hollow where the box lay hidden. After what felt like hours, they found it. The grandmother's fingers traced the rough bark, her touch gentle yet firm. "Here," she whispered, her voice hoarse with emotion. "This is the source. Here lies the darkness." With trembling hands, Alara opened the hollow. Inside, instead of hundreds of unblinking eyes staring back, there was nothing but darkness. The box was empty. Relief washed over Alara. But it was short-lived, for as she watched, the eyes began to emerge from the darkness around them, creeping out from under stones, slithering out from behind roots. They floated in the air like wisps of smoke, taking on forms both terrifying and grotesque. The grandmother gasped, shielding Alara behind her. "Run, child!" she cried, her voice echoing in the night. "Run and don't look back." Without a word of explanation, Alara turned and fled. She ran through the meadow, the eyes of the night in hot pursuit. She could hear their whispers carried on the wind, their voices a cacophony of malice and despair. Suddenly, Alara stumbled upon a small stream gushing over smooth stones. Without hesitation, she jumped into the water. The icy water shocked her, numbing her limbs, but she pushed on. She swam to the other side, collapsing on the bank, gasping for breath. As she lay there, the chilling laughter of the night eyes echoed around her. They had followed her to the stream, but they couldn't cross the water. Alara had escaped their grasp. Panting and soaked, Alara realized she had no way home. The path through the meadow was blocked by the night eyes, and the forest to the north was a tangled maze even in daylight. Despair threatened to engulf her, but then she remembered her grandmother's words. She was the keeper of the morning light, a beacon that could banish the darkness. Taking a deep breath, Alara stood up. She walked towards the east, away from the meadow and towards the rising sun. As the first rays of sunlight touched her skin, she felt a surge of power. The darkness recoiled, shrieking in agony as the light grew stronger. With newfound courage, Alara walked towards the edge of the forest. As she emerged, blinking in the bright sunlight, she saw her grandmother waiting for her, her face etched with worry. "Alara!" her grandmother cried, rushing to her side. "You're safe. You have defeated them." Alara nodded, tears streaming down her face, a mixture of exhaustion and relief. They walked back to the village together, hand in hand, their silhouettes framed by the rising sun. The villagers, their faces etched with worry, rushed to greet them. Alara had saved them, and their gratitude knew no bounds. That day, as the village celebrated Alara's bravery, the grandmother took her granddaughter aside. "You have a great destiny ahead of you, Alara," she said, her voice filled with pride. "You are the keeper of the morning light, and with it comes a great responsibility." Alara, her heart filled with a mix of emotions, promised to do whatever it took to protect her village and her people. From that day on, every morning when the sun rose over the horizon, Alara would stand at the edge of the village, bathed in golden light, a silent guardian against the darkness that lurked beyond the meadow. The villagers, safe in their homes, knew that they were protected, and the night eyes, trapped in their eternal darkness, could only watch and weep as the light consumed their world.